Hello and namaste, my name is Nidhi Nagori and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm covering a country that I don't think I have ever covered on my channel, and that's partly because the immigration system was slightly closed, not in terms of work permits, but in terms of just permanency, in terms of freelancing, etc. That particular country is UAE. Now, UAE has made huge strides in immigration, especially in the last 2 years, right after the start of pandemic. November 2019 was when we first heard about coronavirus, so there were a lot of murmurs going around, but obviously none of us knew the impact. So I had the good fortune of being in Dubai right before the pandemic hit, and by pandemic I mean the lockdowns and everything. They hit in mid-March. We came back Jan end, and mid-March everybody's lives changed. So this video is also going to act as an ode to my BC life, which is before COVID life. I don't think BC is before Christ anymore. I think it's before COVID. And if you are interested in knowing about UAE, what the opportunities are, what have the changes been like, and how you can apply and take benefit of all of these changes, then stick around. Let me start off by saying that in the last decade, there has been a huge movement in Middle Eastern countries to move away from oil and gas and to diversify their economy. One of the ways UAE thought that it might achieve that goal is by focusing on the Dubai Expo, which was going to happen, and also by making both Dubai and Abu Dhabi international cities, cosmopolitan, amazing real estate, infrastructure, etc. So that was the goal. But of course, pandemic halted everybody's travel plans, and so UAE shifted onto gear number one, which is the gear that most countries in the world were using. Most countries saw that this is the path forward, which is technology, innovation, advent of new ideas, new companies, and new thoughts. That's how UAE came up with Golden Visa, which is kind of a permanent residency. I wouldn't call it a permanent residency, more so like a permanent visa, giving top employees, top professionals, top performers the right of having a permanent stay, a permanent life in UAE. The best part of Golden Visa, you can self-apply, which means you can sponsor yourself and apply for this. Let me know if you want me to make a video on Golden Visa, on how to go about it, and I'm happy to do that. For the purposes of this video, we're not focused on that, and that's because that is a completely different pathway. In this video, I want to talk about two major pathways that have come up in the recent past. The first is the UAE freelancer visa. I'm not sure if this is applicable to all parts of UAE. I know for a fact that it is applicable in Dubai, because I probably know about 6 people who've moved to Dubai on this particular visa. Personally, I've spoken to 2 of them. They're both freelancers, and they've been freelancing for long. They were actually my batchmates, so they're similar aged. And they've been freelancing for about 7 to 8 years, have decent freelancing business. Not anything out of the blue, not anything extraordinary, but they definitely have a lot of experience to back up, especially when they're asked to prove their freelancing work that they've been doing for so long. So when I saw the first person status update on Facebook, I think it was Facebook or Instagram, I don't remember now, but some social media, that they were moving to Dubai on a freelance visa. So I reached out to them and I started having a conversation about how is it that you can apply. So I really liked the idea of a freelance visa. Many countries actually offer it, but I like the Dubai one especially because one, the income that you have to prove doesn't have to be like today's income. It can be something that you can project as well. And you can also state how Dubai will help you get to that income. So how is it that you can make that income in Dubai? They also give you access to a lot of ecosystems for freelancers and startups in Dubai. So you can go, you can network, you can meet these people, and you can build your freelancing business up, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Having the right ecosystem, having the right group, having the right mentorship, the right network, that's exactly what most people lack in their real life. Apart from that, the low taxation or zero taxation, as I may call it, in UAE always helps. Now, this freelance visa, as I mentioned, is something that you can sponsor yourself. It is fast-tracked, meaning you will get the answer in about 2 to 3 weeks. That's what I've heard from most people, even though online it says less than that or more than that. But generally, it's 2 to 3 weeks that they get the answer in. Once you get it, you're free to move to Dubai, you're free to find an accommodation for yourself, you're free to set yourself up. And obviously, once you're in Dubai, if you feel like that's not what you want to do, especially if there's a good full-time opportunity that you find, say 6 months down the line, say 3 months down the line, then you can always move on to the employment visa, which is a good segue into the next part of my video, which is what is it that you need to be able to find a work permit or work visa sponsorship in Dubai. Now, while the freelancer visa covers Dubai, the employment visa itself will cover most of UAE or all of UAE, because this is issued by the government. So this can be in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, anywhere in between, any part of UAE. The first thing that you need to understand is that the core goals or the core areas of employment have changed. There was a survey done in 2022 by Dubai Expat Group. As you all know, every country has their own expat group, which is people who moved from outside, foreigners who are working in those countries. And they try to do surveys in order to help other foreigners who are interested in moving. So they did a survey, they ran a survey to understand which industries, which areas have the maximum number of opportunities. So the first thing that you need to follow is where is it that you see maximum number of opportunities in UAE currently. And I'm going to give you 10 fields. Now these are the top 10 fields that came out from the survey. Not to say that if you're not in this field, you have like no future. It's just that if you're in these fields, the employment opportunities are way more than others. The first, as you may have guessed, pathway to any country that wants to grow in technology. That is software developers, coders, programmers, IT professionals. The second, and this I think is probably more specific to a country like UAE, architects and engineers, and that's because UAE as a country is fascinated with crazy buildings, beautiful architecture, beautiful design. When I was there, I felt like I've never seen those buildings ever. I've probably seen a few of them, say in Chicago, New York, Toronto, but all of them together, never seen that kind of a skyline. So I can totally understand why this is number 2. The third is marketing and social media professionals. This I think is an excellent field because it also has freelancing opportunities. So if you're somebody who is into digital marketing or social media freelancing, you can look at the freelancing part of it and you can also look at work visas. The fourth field is sales representative and customer service. The fifth is food and beverage. Obviously for a country that wants to be the number 1 destination for tourism in the world, F&B has to be on top. The sixth field is real estate consultant. Again, not surprised given the whole focus on real estate, tourism, etc. The seventh emerging field is medical practitioners, whether you're a doctor, nurse, dentist, or any healthcare worker. The eighth field is hotel staff. So if you are in the business of tourism, luxury resorts, hotel stays, or anything associated with that, a lot of opportunities for you in UAE. The ninth field, HR professionals. So people who are in human resources. Obviously, when you're doing all these changes across industries, when you're hiring so much, or just the amount of visas, employment opportunities that exist in UAE or Middle East overall, you always need good HR to back it up for you. And the last field, personal assistants, admin, receptionist. I know I've given you 10 fields here, but a special mention to the field of science. If you are somebody who is in the field of basic science research, again, tons of opportunity for you to consider, but those opportunities are more towards Abu Dhabi and not towards Dubai. So just in case if you're interested in research and science, then Abu Dhabi, you might be looking more towards that. That's still UAE, but I know a lot of people are fascinated with Dubai overall, so they always want to talk about that. Now that you understand where the demand lies, I'm only going to give you 3 websites, which I think are excellent in terms of recruitment. Before giving you the 3 websites, I do want to mention that there is nothing like LinkedIn. Nothing beats LinkedIn, especially if you're looking at Middle East opportunities. LinkedIn is full of these opportunities. Please network, especially if you're living in South Asia, if you're living in my home country or anywhere close by, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, anywhere close by. Please network with people on LinkedIn. You'll find a lot of people from our community have already moved there, and you'll realize that a lot of opportunities already exist. So that is obviously going to be my number 1 suggestion. Make sure you have a good LinkedIn presence. But let me give you the 3 websites that I think are absolutely fantastic. The first one is Adecco Middle East. I think they have amazing job opportunities that are up. They're also good with posting salary ranges. You can apply for any job as long as it does not state UAE national only, then you're not eligible for it. But as long as the job says nothing, just assume it is open for visa sponsorship because that's how it works. The second one that I liked is Michael Page. Of course, Michael Page is huge even in Europe and North America, but I figured their Middle East opportunities were also pretty good. The third place that I like is Manpower. Now, if you are somebody who's not looking for just corporate roles, if you're looking for, say, some temporary contract work as well, or if you're looking for more tourism, travel, etc., then I think Manpower may have better opportunities for you. So as long as you want to work in an organization or a hospital, I think Adecco and Michael Page are great. But if you want to work in travel, tourism, if you want to be an executive assistant for someone, a PA, etc., then I think Manpower is better suited. On that note, this video has come to an end. Please make sure you check the description box out for links. I'll leave the links for freelancer visa in case you want to sponsor yourself. And I'll leave some other links which may be informative. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a video. Flood the comments comment section with your questions, or let me know what is it that you'd like to see on my channel next. If I've covered anything in the past, if you have any questions, please ask that as well. I'm always looking at your questions and I'm always using them to strategize to come up with content for the next few videos. So if you have anything in specific that you'd like me to cover, let me know all of that in the comments below. I promise to see you in the next video. Until then, please make sure that you take care of yourself. Stay safe. Namaste.